In my golf swing, I really want my left wrist to remain flat as I go through the golf ball. Now, most of the time in my teachings, I'm talking about the right hand, and there's a really good reason for that. I think the right hand runs the entire show. I don't like the idea of left side does this, right side does this. It's too confusing. However, for practice purposes and for show purposes, you can also use a power click for a different reason. As I just said, through the golf ball, my left wrist should remain flat. So when I hit the golf ball, I'm trying to keep my left wrist flat. Now the really neat thing about that is, or about what we're doing right now is, as I'm talking about my hands, as the camera is focusing on my hands, I'm learning about my hands. I think too often when we go to the practice tee or trying to learn something, we're so busy trying to learn the total that we end up learning nothing. It's better to focus down one little area at a time, work on it, and then put the big pieces, or put all the pieces in together to match the big piece later on. So I know that when I hit a golf ball, I want my right wrist to retain its bend being right, my right hand. So you can wear the power click for that purpose, but you can also change it over and put it on your left wrist so that when you hit the shot, that you know that that left wrist retained its bend. So we're going to move Gordy in here and get Gordy to hit a few shots with the power click on. So Gordy, come on, we'll put this on.
Left wrist retains its flatness.
So you are absolutely going to know. Now, if this just happens to help your chipping and pitching, fantastic. If it happens to help your ball striking, fantastic. But what you're really trying to do is make sure that you do learn what that left wrist would be doing. So my advice would be, even when you're practicing this, I'd like to see standing back here, being an instructor, that I can tell what you're working on. Yeah. See, now I think the learning process is taking place now because you're focusing in on, and I can actually see what you're focusing in on. You're trying to learn or to see if that left wrist is retaining its flatness as you go through the golf ball. Like I say again, this could be great for chipping or pitching, but it's golf. If you go a little faster, they call it something else. If you're going at a less rate of speed, they could call it chipping. If you're going at a little faster rate of speed, they could call it pitching. If you're going full speed, they call it a golf shot. But through the golf ball, what I'm trying to do is make sure that my hands do not break down. The left wrist is flat, and if the left wrist is flat, what is the right wrist? Exactly. So, but now we know it's, you know, so much of what happens in golf is people will hit a good shot, but they don't know what they did right. I'm saying, you know, what a crime that is that they don't know what they did right when they did it. They have a hard time understanding what they did wrong when they did it wrong. For you to lower your score, here's how I'm going to suggest lowering your score, and this might even hurt golf instruction as we now know it. I would make the statement to you that I don't think hitting the golf ball or practicing a lot makes your score go down. I think what makes your score go down is when you know what you did right. So you get on the golf course and you recognize you're not getting lucky, you're getting good. I think almost everybody out there can secretly relate to what I'm going to say next. There's this thing called comfort zone in golf. And if you're a 90 shooter, you get kind of comfortable shooting 90. You don't like it. But what happens is you shoot 40 on the front nine and magically you shoot 50 on the back. And you blame your swing. Your swing broke down. Well, I think to get your score down, the more you know what you're doing, the sooner you can take credit for the good shots, so you can stand over the golf ball and say, I did this, this, and this, and that's why that golf ball did this. And the more you know why it does that, the less chance it has of. And I think that's how I start to bring the score down.